So let me switch topics here. So everything is this aliveness. So what do you do with that? It's a great thing. It's cool. You probably have had moments of awakening where you have experienced this. Because everything should be tested against your experience, not a book. Right? The Buddha said, don't trust anything you read in a book. Don't trust anything you heard from an old person. Trust your own experience, which means you've got to actually have experience. You have to do the work. Even though, as Father Thomas Keating would say, you have to do the work, and then when you actually awake, you have the experience, you realize there was no work to be done. But until you know that by having the experience, you do a lot of work. So, what do you do when you have the experience? You know what the Talmud is? Talmud is the anthology of rabbinic literature. I forgot to look up the exact number. I think it's 67 volumes in the original Aramaic, Gesundheit. And it's thousands and thousands of pages. There's a verse in these thousands and thousands of pages, a unique teaching said only once over the centuries and centuries of compilation that is the Talmud, buried in there. You don't even know it's there unless you happen to stumble on it yourself or someone points it out to you. It's by a rabbi named Abaye. He lived 1,600 years ago. And it's a throwaway line. It has nothing to do with the rabbis we're talking about in the section of the text. And the Talmud's like that. It's pretty much free association. That's the rabbinic model. It's just whatever pops into your head, you throw it out, you have an argument, you write it down, and see what comes up next. So out of nowhere, Abaye says, no, let me be more specific. Out of nowhere, Abaye reveals a secret that had been in place already for millennia, but no one revealed the secret. He just throws it out there. Here's the secret. There are always 36 people on the planet who are embraced by and living out the Shekhinah. So remember, if you've been listening to Mirabah, Shekhinah is the divine feminine. It's the way you experience God in this embodied environment. Right? So the Shekhinah, the divine feminine, there's always 36 people on the planet who are having this experience now. And now. Right? Always 36. And when they're in that awareness, because to be embraced by the Divine Mother is to realize that we're all in Divine Mother's womb, right? And so everyone is our brother and sister. We saw a dead squirrel as we were walking to lunch. Not a good thing to do, and walking to lunch. Maybe in Tennessee, you'd pick it up, put it in the bag, and can you serve this, But, because people eat roadkill. I don't. I don't eat animals. But you see the animal, and your heart breaks. Doesn't it? I mean, you see, and so in my mind, because you start to say Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash, the prayer for the dead. Now in Judaism, you don't say prayers for the dead over the squirrel, but to me, the squirrel was a manifestation of the divine, who happens to no longer be in that physical form, though the corpse too is part of the divine. And then you go down Park Avenue, which yesterday was pedestrian. Today, it's a kennel. I don't know if this is true. Those of you who are residents may be able to answer this. Is it a law in Winter Park that you have to own a doodle? Doodles are my favorite dogs, and everyone's got one, or two. I talked to one couple, and they say, you have to have two. Okay, I just lost mine. Yeah, she'll turn up somewhere. No, she died. It's a stupid euphemism. Someone say, you say, I lost my mother. Oh, when did she die? No, she's in the store somewhere. I just can't find her. So, you see those dogs. Now, this may be just me, but you see those dogs, and I don't care if it's a big dog or a little dog, a quiet dog, a yappy dog. I love dogs. In Hebrew, The word for dog is kelev. Kelev. Remember this. This is good. Kelev. There's a pun. It's a Hebrew pun. Kel, in Hebrew, if you separate kel and lev means heart. Kel can be read as call all. Dogs are all heart, unless someone turns them into monsters, which we do. Not always, thank goodness, but sometimes. So Abaye says that there are always 36 people in touch with that reality. And we're going to talk about what they do. But these 36 are not the same people moment to moment necessarily. It's not that there were 36 people on the planet, just 36, and the rest of the billions of people on the planet are not in touch with Shekhinah at all. It's that at any given moment, there are at least 36 people on the planet who are being embraced by, awakened in, with, and as the Shekhinah, the Divine Mother. Why 36? It's numerology. Hebrew has no numbers. You know, we have Arabic numerals, Roman numerals. There's no such thing as a Hebrew numeral. The alphabet does double duty as number. So the first letter is Aleph, it's the number 1. The second letter is Bet, it's the number 2. That means every word in Hebrew has a numerical value. Right? Every word of the Bible has a numerical value, because every letter of the Bible is a number. There are some mystics in the Middle Ages who taught that the entire Torah, the 5 books of Moses, is a mathematical formula for the creation of a universe. And God made the formula and broke up the numbers in such a way that you could tell a story with it, and that's how you'd remember the formula. So the mystics, some, would try to go back to the math. And there are stories in the Talmud, going back thousands of years, about guys, and this is an actual story. So the rabbis are in the yeshiva, or the Beit Midrash, the school, from Sunday to Friday. And then Friday afternoon they go home because, and we didn't say this yesterday, Mirabai and I, because we didn't want to put anyone on the spot. But one of the things you got to do on Shabbat is have sex. So we didn't know if that was possible for everyone, so we left it out. So all these men would run home, and there's a story about one rabbi whose wife said, "Don't forget to bring home a chicken. Go to the market on the way home." And he's racing home, and he forgot to stop at the market. He forgot to get the chicken. But he knows the number for chicken. He knows how to manipulate the math, and he gets a chicken. Right? And they eat it. I mean, that's, anyone who said, "I don't like math," well, look, this is important stuff. You can get chicken out of it. So there's all this commentary about the Bible that is mathematical. So this word 36, the number 36 is 2 times the number 18. And we take the number back to Hebrew. 18 is the number chai, for chai. Chet yud, 2 letters. Chet yud, chai, means life. A lamed vavnik, a 36er, lives twice life. They live their own life, and they live for the planet. So they're called 36ers. That's why they got the number 36. They're called lamed vavniks, because lamed is the number for 30, Vav is the number for 6, and Knicks, besides being a great sports team franchise, but the Knicks, the word Knicks is the Yiddish for, I don't know if there's a English, but it'd be like 36ers, right? So it's Lamed Vav 36ers. People who are Lamed Vavs are called Lamed Vav Knicks. And there's always 36 people at any given moment who are having this experience of the Divine Mother and acting in such a way as to bring the holiness and the love and the justice and compassion that she calls us to into the world. But it's not the same 36 people. Everyone, if we're awake enough, will be awake to a moment of lamed vaving, right? There's just going to be a moment in a day, in a week. I mean, who knows how often or when or what's going on for you. But if you're awake enough, and it's not like you have to be like the Buddha, which means the awakened one. It's not like that. It's that you're just paying enough attention, and you have the theory in the back of your mind, which now you do. You are the aliveness, right? You have it in your head as an idea, but it becomes embodied in a moment where you can be a blessing to someone. We're going to go into this a little bit deeper, but you can be a blessing to someone. It could be very, very simple. So during, I don't know, I went out, I had to go to the restroom. Too much information, I know, but I had to go to the restroom. And Pat and Randy's granddaughter was there. Sabine, thank you. So Sabine was there. And how old is Sabine? 7? 8? 9? Okay, so Sabine is 9. Who's telling me this? Oh, thank you. So Sabine is 9. Sabine wants to be a writer, and Sabine, she told me Santa Claus brought her a typewriter, right? So the first thing is, whether you believe in Santa or not, you never say, oh, please, Sabine, that was your parents. I mean, don't screw around with other people's theology. And if she's happy with Santa, let her be happy with Santa, right? She can outgrow that or not outgrow that. Maybe she believes in the tooth fairy. If her parents are cheap, they'll say, there's no tooth fairy, because they don't want to put money under her pillow. But whatever it is. So I don't challenge the Santa thing. I'm excited. First of all, I'm excited about anyone who wants to write. But I was excited. Not only did she want to write, she wanted to write in a typewriter. And she's taking typing. My favorite class in high school was typing. She's learning how to touch type, and we talked about her typewriter and touch typing. And on my hat, I had 3 typewriter buttons. A little pewter one. I had another one that was, I think, yellow, and then I have Snoopy on a typewriter. And I had to give it to her, right? Because it's not like I had to be altruistic, because I'm not. It was just that moment, the Shekhinah, the divine feminine, said, sweetheart, give her the pin. What? Oh, the pin. Oh, yes, give her the pin. No, not the expensive one. Just give her the one. So I don't know. At the moment, she liked it. My fantasy, she'll remember it forever, and she'll write some incredible novel, and she'll dedicate it to Rabbi Rami, who really encouraged me to. I don't know. It's just my fantasy. But there are moments like that for everybody. If you pay attention, if you're awake, if you're aware of what's going on. So there's 36 people, but the only way you can do this, to be aware of what's going on, to see your moment, to step in and be a Lamed Vavnik. The only way you can know is if you're not filled with yourself, right? Most of us are filled with ourselves. Me too, right? Everyone does. It's normal, it's natural. There's no point, oh, I shouldn't be filled with myself. That's being filled with yourself, right? I'm so evil, I'm so narcissistic. That's really narcissistic. That's just being more egotistical.